What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pete's Carport. I'm hoping to get a little redemption from some of you guys, and it's about this brake bleeder. So I posted a video, did not expect it to get nearly as many views as it did, and also had a ton of people say whatever they wanted to say, but I totally missed taking the safety cap that comes along with this. I'm not even sure why they stick it in there, I guess to keep it from opening up all the way so they could basically put it in the package a little easier, but it is in the instructions. I totally skipped past that when setting this up, and I want to show you guys that this does work. Now, I'm also going to give my honest opinion on the quality of the tool and how well it works. So let's get set up. I'm going to show you guys how this will actually work when set up properly. Alright guys, so here it is. This is Harbor Freight's Pittsburgh brake bleeder. Make sure you go back and watch the first video I did because I show you guys how to basically set it up, and ironically I missed the part of removing the little piece that's here that creates it so you cannot fully pump it. I'm going to do some redemption right now for you guys, and you can see the end cap here. I'm going to put my thumb over it and we can get it over the 10 on the gauge here. Nice and easy. And let it go and it releases. So plenty of pressure once you take that cap off. Now, my honest opinion on this tool, it's really not a high quality tool. They sell it for $24.99 before any types of discounts, and Pittsburgh is Harbor Freight's cheapest tool. Now, from what I know, they give a lifetime warranty, I believe, on any of the Pittsburgh tools. I've swapped out many tools there before that have broken the Pittsburgh brand. So I'm wondering if they do that for this as well. I'm not 100% sure. But this is guaranteed to break over time. It's kind of cheaply made. You've got really crappy rubber that slides over here that keeps falling off anytime I'm pumping. This is not made really well. I've had fluid kind of come out the back just from tilting it a little bit. And sometimes it doesn't hold perfect pressure. But with all that said, it does work. And I found a couple of great uses for it. So let me go ahead and step out to the car. I'm going to hook it up. We actually have to bleed the entire system on a new car I got. And so I'm going to show you guys how you can use this to not only bleed the brakes, but to basically flush the brakes and pull the fluid from the main brake reservoir if you're changing out the fluid like we're going to be doing today. So let's step out there and check it out. Alright, so this is my 1991 Mercedes SL 500 I just picked up. And we're going to go ahead and flush the entire brake system. So what that means is we're going to remove all this nasty fluid that's probably been sitting here for a while. And this is something you want to do every couple of years. Brake fluid does go bad over time. And we're going to be using our Pittsburgh bleeder system to basically start sucking out a lot of the fluid from this area here. And so I figured this out last time I was trying to do the same thing to one of my other cars. If you just take this and drop it in here, you got to take your screen out first. Most of these do have a screen system in there. And drop this in here. You can remove most of the fluid that's in there. So this way you don't have to bleed all this fluid out of the actual brake lines. Now we're still going to be bleeding the brake lines and adding fresh fluid to our reservoir, but you want to make sure when you're doing this that you get it down pretty low before starting to add the fresh fluid, or you're just going to mix the fresh with the old and end up having old fluid still in the system. So I like to start here, pump out as much as I can, empty it, pump out a little bit more, and leave enough in there where you're not drying the system out. Then we're going to move over to the actual brakes and bleed them right from there. So I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to move over to the brakes and show you guys how this hooks up to the actual brake bleeders that are on your calipers. Okay guys, so let's step over to our actual calipers. Now this is my front one. I already had access to it. I've got the tires off, but you really want to start in your rear passenger side and then go to the rear driver's side, then to the rear or front passenger side, and then the front driver's side. That way you're bleeding all the air out of the system and leading it back to the closest one to your actual reservoir. Now, when you're doing it like I am, where I took most of the fluid out of the reservoir, which, by the way, was absolutely disgusting when I got towards the bottom, you want to make sure you don't bleed the system completely out. You want to make sure you add fluid as you're taking it out. So what I'm going to do is I left enough in there to start pumping our front caliper here, and then I'm going to start adding it. But I'm going to go back and do the back ones. So in order to do this, some of them have a cap. Mine had a cap on it. I took the cap off. And you want to get the right size wrench on there and kind of leave it there. Now I'm going to grab my pump. And this is the part where a lot of you guys chimed in on the comments and said not to use this end piece. That's the part that I've really got to disagree. I've done it on, this is going to be the 4th car now, and I found that this actual attachment that worked on the other ones, now I'm doing it on all Mercedes, worked perfect. I mean, this snugs on there, and I'll show you guys how well this just squeezes on there. And I'll show you here. Let me loosen up this bolt here, or this the brake line, and let me create some pressure here so you guys can see it's able to hold that pressure, and you can see it's now pulling the fluid really nicely through. Now the instructions say to keep it right around 10 to 15. So you don't want to go too high, but you want to make sure that it keeps evenly pulling the fluid. Once you notice all the air bubbles are gone and all you're trying to do is bleed, you can tighten that back up and you're good to go. I'm going to be bleeding my whole system, so I'm going to go ahead and add some more fluid and go from there. So that's really going to wrap it up for this, guys. Like I said, you know, you live and you learn, and hopefully this is redemption for you guys out there that let me know about the safety cap being on there. Hopefully this helps out you guys that really enjoy using this device and you want to see that this gets the proper review. I'm going to have to say it's maybe a 6 out of 10 still because of the quality of the actual pump, but it is something that I'm going to use to basically clean out reservoirs and stuff like that. But I'm probably going to get a better quality hand pump just because I know that this one's not going to hold up through time, and I hate running back and forth to the store even to swap things out. So you guys have an awesome day. Hopefully this helped you guys out, and my name's Pete. Don't forget to watch the first video so you can see how to set this up and you can get a more in-depth part, basically breakdown of this part. Have an awesome day. My name's Pete. This is Pete's Carport. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and joining us.